Some of Africa's poorest nations are reeling from a sharp rise in the price of sugar in recent years. Many countries do not produce enough sugar and rely heavily on imports. But the collapse of key sugar milling companies in countries like Kenya means the price has increased significantly. CGTN's Nick Mudimba visited an area of Western Kenya where both producers and consumers are being hit.
Vivian Acheng owns an eatery in the outskirts of Kenya's Kakamega County. For years, she had tasted the sweet success in her business by selling delicacies and beverages that contain sugar. But the price of sugar has shot up in recent years, and this has left a bitter aftertaste in her mouth as business has become less profitable and more difficult to run. Sugar is a key ingredient in most of the snacks and drinks she sells. She's had to cut back on her sugar consumption.
My hotel is sustained through selling beverages like tea. But now, the sugar prices keep on increasing, which is affecting our business. If it goes on this way, I will have to close the business because of such difficult circumstances.
Kakamega County, like most parts of Western Kenya, forms the core of the East African nation's sugar belt. It is a leading producer of sugarcane used in producing sugar. There are many sugar mills in or nearby the county, but sugarcane farmers are facing difficult times. They struggle to make ends meet and can hardly afford the sugar produced from the sugarcane they grow. Some leading sugar factories in the area have collapsed or are struggling to compete with cheaper imports. Godfrey Magero has been a cane farmer for more than 20 years. He says he has never witnessed anything like the current state of cane farming in those years.
Nikienda kwa kiwanda.
These days, I have to go to the sugar milling company and plead with them to take my sugarcane. The level of corruption is so high in these factories. I have to dig deeper into my pocket to bribe the officials for my sugarcane to be considered for purchase. These companies are not facilitating us. Mostly, we do not have fertilizers and seeds, and vast fertile land is lying idle due to issues such as lack of better prices for our produce. We also have to resort to our own survival tactics.
Unavailability of key sugar milling companies in Kenya is making so many sugarcane farmers to hoard their products. But with this whole situation, this is trickling down to the consumers, making sugar very expensive. They're just waiting for better rates for them to release the sugarcane. According to data by Nairobi-based commodities research group Kulea, consumers in Rwanda, Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania are digging deeper into their pockets, paying some of the highest prices for sugar in decades. This situation has been made worse by tariffs on imports. In Kenya, sugar retailers have to pay more for their stock of sugar and they pass this cost to the customers. According to figures from Kenya's Sugar Directorate, a 50 kg bag of sugar was fetching a wholesale price of 7,000 Kenya shillings, that's approximately $65 in December 2022. In May 2023, this went up 9,500 Kenya shillings, which is approximately $85 per 50 kg.
The farmers are not well trained. They are applying conventional ways of farming. Most of them demand for excess or less seeds and other requirements that don't fit their acreage. They end up with huge losses due to lack of knowledge. Brokers are also making a killing from these hardworking farmers. Spillage from lorries transporting cane from farms is also a huge problem. These tractors spill a lot of sugarcane, which affects the tonnage that ends up giving losses to the farmers. Government policies in our region need to favor all sectors of the industry. Things are not looking good.
The huge increase in the price of sugar has only made the problem of rising inflation in Kenya even worse. Farmers say they need more support from the government if they're to increase production to meet local demand. In the meantime, sugar consumers, right from families to businesses, have to contend with the bitter reality that the sweet taste of sugar is increasingly getting beyond the reach of many ordinary people. Nick Mudimba, CGTN, Kakamega County, Kenya.